locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's still real to me, damn it!
You know, whether it's an impression or you crying, and I want it to be known that that's not the only time you cry during a show. Many times you whine and whinge. That is awful.
You're being.
You didn't have the emotion behind it.
You're being ridiculous.
You have to believe when you say that. You have to believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the expert now, right? Is that what's going on?
Listen,
right here?
I believe what I believe.
Yeah, that's the problem. You believe the wrong things.
Oh.
Folks, welcome back to Duke Loves Wrestling. I am the Duke, and yes, I do enjoy doing pro wrestling impersonations, and I'm going to keep on doing them no matter what our illustrious co-host, the Boston Bad Boy, says, and that includes pro wrestling fan impersonations.
Yeah, you know what? You do a great impression of a wrestling fan, considering you're not really a fan and you're a corporate shill.
Oh, God. You know,
you just come on here and you just like to just promote the agenda of the company, which many times goes against the will of the people.
You better watch your mouth, Boston Bad Boy, because you got to remember, okay, with Linda McMahon, she had her confirmation hearings going this week and what have you. With Donald Trump being the president of the United States, he's a WWE Hall of Famer. Now you have the former president of WWE. She's going to be part of the administration as well. You better watch out, Boston Bad Boy, okay? It may be time for you to kiss the ring of Vince McMahon just to be on the safe side, pal.
I'm just waiting for when Linda McMahon and Trump get into a disagreement about something, and then she pulls out the steel chair and gives it to him. Because he sold the stunner pretty good. I mean, pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Did you see that? I sent you a note. There was an article where Steve Austin was talking about having to do the stunner on Donald.
Yes.
And backstage, it was sort of Vince's idea, obviously.
Of course it was.
And Trump was all for it, but his people were not all for it.
They were mortified.
They were horrified that Donald Trump said, "Yeah, I'll go out on stage and get by Steve Austin, who's no lightweight." And so Steve's like, "All right, I guess we'll do this." And I think he was a little apprehensive too. He didn't want to,
You don't want to kill the guy.
He didn't want to kill the guy. And I guess Steve Austin said he sold it all right. Yeah. So in Steve's opinion, he sold the con all right. And I think we can all agree he sold the con on the American people pretty good too.
Oh my goodness.
So I think that was just practice. It was a stepping stone. With Vince's help again, from selling a Stone Cold Stunner to selling some snake oil.
I don't know why I don't sanction anything that he says here. Vince McMahon, please don't beat me up. Well, folks, Dave Wills, a.k.a. It's Still Real to Me, Damn It Guy. He joins us for a fun interview today. Listen, this is a passionate dude, too, so I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe you'll learn what passion is of being a fan, and you won't, again, your icy corporate heart will melt a little bit.
You just... Some of the things you say, I don't even understand where they come from. Seriously, all right? We have more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke, all that plus Run the Ropes. But before we get to any of that, I want to thank you. That's right, you, the loyal listeners of Duke Loves Wrestling. Thanks for tuning in on iTunes and all the other podcast apps. Thanks for sending me messages on Twitter and on Facebook at Duke Loves Wrestling. A quick reminder, all of our shows are archived on YouTube, so if you missed any of the previous episodes, just type in Duke Loves Wrestling and also hit that subscribe button. Keep sending us messages and keep listening, and we'll keep delivering top-notch podcast entertainment, Jack.
And keep agreeing with me, as they usually do, the fans.
I'm sick of this guy already, folks. I just want to let you know that. Nonetheless, it's time to run the ropes. I give my opinion on the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go. Triple H called out for being out of shape. You heard that right, folks. Paul Triple H Levesque, a.k.a. the husband of Stephanie McMahon, future WWE Hall of Fame wrestler, and the executive vice president of talent, live events, and creative for the World Wrestling Entertainment. He was called out, get this, Congressman Corey Booker, during the Linda McMahon hearing regarding her nomination to be the head of the Small Business Administration. he actually called Triple H out of shape. I mean, I couldn't believe it. In fact, let's listen to what Congressman Booker had to say, and this is coming from C-SPAN. Roll a clip.
Senator Booker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McMahon, I want to thank you for being here. It means a lot to serve your country and to step forward and be willing to make the kind of sacrifices you're going to have to make in this position. So I'm grateful for your patriotism. I want to also just say when your daughter and son-in-law stood up, just want to say for the record that your daughter is far more fierce and intimidating than your son-in-law. That's sexist. Yes, well, he and I are about the same age, almost exactly the same age, and Paul's letting himself slip a little bit. So after this, maybe we should go to the Senate gym so I can give Triple H some triple help in getting back in shape.
Stephanie might could give you a mean hip toss.
Can you believe that? I mean, whoa.
What, that our tax dollars are being wasted on Cory Booker thinking he can do stand-up in front of Linda McMahon?
You will not disrespect Cory Booker like that. That's a congressman that you could set your watch to because he's a wrestling fan. Okay?
Apparently. He might not make it out of the building.
I know. He's lucky Triple H didn't give him pedigree.
Well, I think Triple H was the one that shouted out, "You're right."
Yeah. Well, because Stephanie is tough, man. I'll tell you. She's no person to play with.
I have to say, I'm pretty confident that this is the first time a clip from C-SPAN has been played on a wrestling podcast. So, I mean, we might have made history there.
Listen, Cory Booker, shout out to you. And folks, who knows? Maybe Cory Booker will be at WrestleMania. Can you imagine the match? Triple H versus Cory Booker with Stephanie McMahon coming in and laying him out in the end, huh? Talk about some good times. Wow. Middle Kingdom Wrestling China with the season premiere. That's right, folks. They're back, as seen on MKW's Facebook page and also on their YouTube channel. The season premiere of Middle Kingdom Wrestling. Now, keep in mind, they're based out of China, but this is the Thailand edition. That's right. They traveled over to Thailand, and let me tell you something. The top stars like Selfie King, Ash, who's the most handsome movie star in the world, Big Sam with that Big Sam bomb, and even Dalton Bragg, the champion of MKW. They compete in some of the best matches that you'll see in all of Asia. Head over to Middle Kingdom Wrestling on YouTube and also follow them on Facebook for more action. Enjoy. Superfly Jimmy Snuka laid to rest. Yes, folks, a representative on behalf of Jimmy's wife, Carol, announced this week that the official funeral would take place Thursday, January 26th, which happens to be today. Now, it happened in Florida, and hey, you know, the WWE Hall of Famer Superfly Jimmy Snuka, he died as a result of complications related to stomach cancer. Truly a tough way to end. I mean, you know, this guy had a star-studded career. He was one of the best built wrestlers in history. I mean, just a physical specimen. How will history remember Jimmy Snuka? Will it be because of his positive impact on the pro wrestling business, or will it be for the speculation that he literally got away with murder back in the 70s?
I think murder trumps everything. When you know, the murder accusation.
You know, I've really been fighting with this one because I was a huge Jimmy Snuka fan.
Well,
there
have been times where you know, you're faced with that. Who was the big TV guy that shot the woman? He was all right, TV show of the 70s. He was a detective, and Sammy Davis Jr. sang the theme song.
Oh man, tip of my tongue. I Beretta, which is a great show, by the way.
Right. All right. So here's the guy, famous, and then he gets involved in something. Who cares? History doesn't care.
Yeah, it's true.
But there he is.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka, and rest in peace to the other deceased. NXT TakeOver San Antonio this Saturday. According to WWE.com, this Saturday night, folks, the kickoff show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. NXT TakeOver San Antonio. It is an action-packed card. We have Asuka defending the NXT Women's Championship in a four-way dance. She's taking on Nikki Cross, who is very, very good in the ring, by the way. Billie Kay and also Peyton Royce. Now, listen, I expect Asuka to win this match, but eventually lose her title to Ember Moon, hopefully at WrestleMania. And the main event And NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura, he takes on glorious Bobby Roode. Now, this one is a tough one here, folks. If there was ever a time to get that belt off of Nakamura and put it on somebody credible, now is the time. I mean, Bobby Roode is over with this glorious gimmick, and this would free up Nakamura to move to the main roster and hopefully kick the face off of that no-good Roman Reigns, my arch nemesis. Yeah, Roman, did you really think you were going to get through the show without me mentioning your stinking name?
Did you think you were going to get through the show without me mentioning that people in real life don't have arch nemesis?
Well, he's mine.
Nemesis?
He is mine, okay? And Shinsuke
in your
Nakamura,
mind only.
Oh, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to kick his face off.
Listen. Batman knows that the Joker is his arch nemesis, and the Joker also knows that Batman's his, or Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. They're aware. No one else but you is aware that this guy is your arch nemesis, which makes it completely invalid.
Well, maybe somebody should let Roman Reigns know so we can be on the same page.
That'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah, hit the bell. WWE Royal Rumble this Sunday. That's right. Live from the Alamo Dome. Remember the Royal Rumble. That's right, folks. Roman Reigns, that piece of no good, you know what. He challenges Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. John Cena challenges AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We also have Bayley taking on Charlotte for the Women's Championship. That is going to be probably the match stealer of the night, by the way. But with all that said, the one thing that folks are going to be looking for, who's going to win the Royal Rumble match? That match is going to be at least an hour long, so strap yourselves in, folks, because this is going to be a lot going on. Every plan leading up to WrestleMania is going to take place during the Royal Rumble match. You're going to see people knocking each other around and having problems with each other, and you can bet your bottom dollar that's going to lead to a WrestleMania match. So what's going to happen here, my prediction, Undertaker wins, and then he takes on John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Stay tuned. We'll find out. You've heard what I think. What do you think? Do you think I'm a jerk? Do you agree with me? Who knows? Head over to Facebook. Head over to Twitter. Type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let your voice be heard. And that does it for Run the Ropes.
I got to say something, though, just to finish a point I was making earlier, not to go dark, but Robert Blake is who we were talking about, Beretta. Not in jail, right? So he was found not guilty. He was acquitted of murder.
Yep.
But then was found by a civil jury to be responsible for his wife's wrongful death. And lawsuits and everything. But again, here's a guy. Now, yes, wrongful death, but people say, well, maybe you could, whatever. He was also a little rascal, by the way.
Yes.
I forgot that. So here's a guy totally tainted. If Superfly Jimmy Snuka was not criminally found guilty, there was a chance that a civil action could have been brought. Not that we will ever know. However, right there in and of itself is tainted. Unfortunately.
It's unfortunate, but it's true, folks. And I know that there are people who really care about Superfly who are going to say, why are you bringing that up?
Well, I think you have to discuss it.
You have to do it.
And you have to discuss it honestly.
Okay, you have to do it. And to not do it, then you're talking about a lack of integrity there. And we're not lacking in the integrity market, folks.
No, I mean, but you want to
be fair.
You want to be fair.
That's it.
Phil Spector.
Yep.
Phil Spector.
Yep.
Another example.
Another one. Yeah.
Talk about defining a genre, but then get involved with these things, and you play with fire.
And
some bad
once again,
decisions,
we understand that Snuka was never convicted.
Correct.
So let's put that out there.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless,
it's horrible to have a shadow hanging over the whole thing.
Yes, it is. Folks, up next, the ultimate pro wrestling fan, Dave Wills.
See, you can do it to a concert and just don't care, but one thing I do care about is Duke's wrestling. And I tell you what, the guy has nothing but love for the business.
Folks, one of the beautiful things about pro wrestling is, when done right, it can make you suspend all disbelief and wrap you up in a world of alternative facts. We cheer, we boo, we laugh, and yes, sometimes we even cry, because it's just an emotional roller coaster. That's what the sport of professional wrestling does to us, folks. There is one fan who has taken the entire world by storm. I mean, this guy's gone viral with his reaction to this emotional roller coaster that we're talking about today. In fact, let's hear a bit of audio just to remind you folks of who this guy is.
Next question, Jeff. Where are you? Right there.
Yeah.
I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said. I don't want to see another one of these.
Well, thank
Wow. I mean, just you get chills every time you hear that because it really speaks to the raw and real emotion associated with being a pro wrestling fan. Folks, his name is Dave Wills, and he's joining us today on the Duke Loves Rasslin show. So let's just jump right into it. Hey, Dave, when you hear that audio, and even when you look at the video, are you able to go back to that time, and are you able to feel those emotions again?
I can remember definitely what it was like. As for some background for some of your listeners, that took place in Spartanburg, South Carolina, on Tony Hunter's CCW tribute to Starrcade. That was back about 2005, I believe. And it was a Q&A. It had Terry Funk, the Midnight Express, the beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Lord Dennis Condrey, manager Jim Cornette, and also Bill Apter was the moderator. They had a guy named, I think, Jeff holding the microphone. Came over to me, he says, hey, you know, and next question, where are you at? And I just want to ask a question, and I got quite emotional. That was the week that one of the WWE guys went in rehab. That was also the week Eddie Guerrero had passed. So it was quite a interesting week. Plus, I was kind of emotional and everything. I'm not, you know, women get attacked at being emotional, but that day I would actually cop to saying I was, because I got to meet Jerry the King Lawler, who grew up watching on Superstars of Wrestling here in Atlanta when he was in Memphis. I got to meet Jimmy Valiant. I got to meet great guy, Dr. Tom Pritchard. And I got to meet my favorite wrestler, the Barbarian. So, you know, I'm over there and I'm hearing with someone asked Terry Funk, what, hey, is there anything, as far as you'd like to do? They ask everybody, is there anything you'd like to do or something you would like to have came back and done, a feud with someone or something? And Funk says, I'd like to have another match with Eddie Guerrero. And, of course, the crowd popped. It was huge. And it was, everybody still remember that. He even talked about, he said, the drug, he said the deaths in wrestling, I don't think he said the drug, but he said the deaths in wrestling are out of control. If any other business had this, I think he made a comment that, there'd be an investigation. He said, really, when you get right down to it, every town has a crack house. And if you were to find the one in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and trace it back for the last 5 years, you'll see they had way less deaths than professional wrestling. And that resonated with me. And then I was thinking about a lot of other things, the sacrifices the guys made. That, because I've seen Terry Funk barely able to walk very well, not able to walk very well. I've seen Harley Race in a wheelchair pretty much, being pushed in there. Bob Eaton wasn't getting around as well as he could. So I was thinking, I just want to thank him for what they did, because, sure, it's some entertainment, but sure, it's something where, some people are like, well, they got paid, they did their thing, that's one thing. Yeah, I understand. I get the stuntman argument. I don't agree with it. But, for everything you do, a price is paid. If you are, our new president, Donald Trump, you're going to pay the price, and you can't, conduct business as you always had. You can't do certain things, You can do other things because of what you've done. Same way on the reverse end, if you decide to do smack or you're a heroin addict, you're probably not going to be able to, do a lot of things that you did do, and you may be incarcerated or not have freedom and something like that. Sure, if you wrestle and take certain bumps, you're going to get hurt and your body's going to pay for it. However, the guys who I was looking at aren't the high spot artists of today. And no one's made out of rubber. And sooner or later, the bills due. I think Matt Hardy may have talked about a bump card. You only got so many on there.
That's the truth.
And, it's like, if you were every day you went to work and you endured, a minor car crash, or you fell from a ladder every day about 6 feet, no matter how well you know how to land, it hurts. It hurts very badly. And while your body may be conditioned, you can, there's a thing called ring shape, stuff like that. Sooner or later, you got to pay the bill. And is the bill going to be paid as an early passing because you're, using painkillers or something? Is it going to be paid as you get older and barely can walk, or God forbid you're like Dynamite Kid, in a wheelchair, and, homeless for a while? And that's another thing I was thinking about. I was thinking of, man, I was talking about Cactus Jack's interview he did, Big Foley Mankind, in ECW, about how many of you guys have called up Dynamite Kid. Hey, thanks for the great bumps you've taken. Thanks for all those dives under the concrete. Sorry you don't have a pot to piss in or a one to throw it out of. Well, it's true. Read Pure Dynamite. Highly recommended by Dynamite Kid. It's something that people need to think about. But, it's like every other generation. The older generation warning you of their excesses, and, well, not everybody pays attention to it,
I gotta say that context is absolutely key here. I've always been interested in, in that clip we see of you. There's more to it. It sort of cuts off, and in doing this podcast with Duke, who's much more of an encyclopedic knowledge on wrestling than I am, and talking to guys like Dusty and Steve Cox who have sacrificed the body the way you're talking about. Fandom is fandom, and when you have these guys involved in your life, if you're watching them on TV, you're going to shows, you genuinely care about them. So you see it's happening in real life. These are real people. It's not Star Trek or something.
Look at the outpour of sport just yesterday for Mary Tyler Moore. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, she lived a long life. She's 80 years old, but people are still upset. Oh, she was one of my favorite entertainers. I watched her show in the 70s to the in the early 70s to the mid 70s. Still, that's something.
It's a great example.
You let this person come into your home. You let this person come into your heart. You became a fan of this person. In wrestling, it's not so much where you're looking at, well, I'm Mary Tyler Moore, I play Mary Richards. It's, if you're looking at Dusty Rhodes, you're looking at Dusty
That's
Rhodes.
right. That's right.
Matt Hardy, you're looking at Matt Hardy. There's not a lot of, while there is separation between the guy in the ring and the person, a lot of times it's not seen.
Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't a real reporter. She wasn't doing actual reporting while she was playing a reporter. These guys are really taking the hits out there.
Well, and here's the thing. Wrestling, in my opinion, is a hybrid of sports. It's a hybrid kind of entertainment, okay? Let's examine this. If you were to see, you can see acrobatics like you see at the circus. What's the circus cost? You're not going to have it in another couple of months. But Rickland Brothers is shutting down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But you get all these trapeze artists right in front of you. You also get a battle of good versus evil. You get real life superheroes taking on real life bad guys. You get muscular folks. You get simulated. You get
beer,
athletic competition fights. When it's done right, there ain't a whole lot better. When it's done wrong, there ain't a whole lot worse.
Ain't that the truth?
And you get this all for like $10, $15, $20, whatever. You get these performers performing live in front of you. And granted, it's not Hamilton on Broadway, but come on,
Yeah, there isn't much difference.
These folks are up there, it's not the Falcons versus New England. No Falcons.
Oh,
sorry.
That's right.
Here we
That's
go.
right.
I'm in Atlanta. What can I say? I'm a long sucker in that days of Marquette. But you follow what I'm saying. You don't see a lot of you go through all this stuff, and everybody, people want to say, well, they picked what they're doing. Well, yeah, they did. But hey, the NFL. You probably could have guessed they got a concussion. They had proof they're suing,
That's the truth. Hey, Dave, let me ask you a question.
You got to go out there, you got to go out there. While I understand certain things, I just want to stand up after that and tell them, hey, listen, thank you for your sacrifices. I don't want to see another one of these deaths. Thanks for what you did to your bodies and all the years of entertainment you gave me. Instead it comes up, Mr. Buck, thanks for what you did to me. So I don't want to see another one of these. Okay. So everybody sees it as, okay, this is some dumbass Mark who thinks wrestling's real and just got smartened up and he's some kind of a joke and everything. He's a fat guy. So let's go ahead and make fun of him, poke fun at him, think he's not intelligent, whatever. Okay, I see that the clip could be funny, but, that's why, it didn't have to do with death and wrestling. I get it. If someone sees it for the entertainment, that's cool. I understand that. If it made you laugh, that's great. I'm proud for you. If you understand wrestling, you're a wrestling fan, and you think that, it's great, appreciate my passion, that's great, too. If you're a troll or a jerk and you're just picking on me for the hell of it, well, I got a message for you, too.
Here we go.
Okay. That's okay. I'm 42 years old. I have great self-esteem. I have great self-image. I know I'm fat. I was reminded of it 4 years of high school. If you're picking on me, you're leaving somebody else alone. Look at here. We got people in here dying in the streets. We got people being shot. We got people who, someone posts something on Facebook about their sexual orientation or gender identity, they go home and kill themselves. What are we doing? Yeah, if you want to go ahead and don't pick on people who may not can handle it, go ahead, laugh. I don't care. My self-esteem's good. I lay down every night and go to bed fine. Okay? Hey, I got a good job. My customers like me. My bosses like me. Hey, I got some great friends for many years. A lot of time it's jealousy. I've been able to get in the ring and I ring announce a match between the Midnight Express and the Powers of Pain.
Wow.
How many people have got to meet their favorite wrestler? I have, the Barbarian, many times.
That is hold on a second, Dave, because you're laying some heavy stuff on us here, and you just brought us into another level there. You actually ring announced a match between the Midnight Express and the Powers of Pain.
Yes, Warlord and Barbarian.
Yeah, so I mean, you said Barbarian is your favorite wrestler, right?
Absolutely, 100%. That's correct.
So tell us about that moment, and before you do, I want to bring something up here.
Sure.
I can remember the first time that I met the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who, absolutely, brother, you know it. You styling and profiling. And Ric Flair, literally, with the exception of my mother, Ric Flair is the most important person in the world to me because he was my hero growing up. Loved Ric Flair. He was always there every Saturday, every Sunday, 6:05 TBS at Superstation. I could turn on that TV and get lost in Ric Flair. So I met him as a young adult, Bayside Expo Center here in Boston. And, I got in line. I was one of the last people to make it into line. And when I finally got to the front and I was finally able to go up to him, I just could not contain myself. I had tears in my eyes, and I just shook his hand, and I said, Nature Boy, thank you very much for all that you've done, not only for the sport of professional wrestling, but for me personally. And
what you did was the same thing I did.
Bingo.
It's just the difference was it was a lot a few years ago, and guess what? There wasn't 15 billion correspondents for YouTube with the cell phone out there. Okay, well, then that was taken by what do you call it? But you get the point.
And
everybody has the thing emotionally that clicks.
That's
but
right.
Barbarian, one of my favorite wrestlers. Yes, I can tell you why. Well, she should have got a bigger push. She should be a champion. Yes, I could say that. I don't know why someone never booked Samoa Joe against Barbarian. I still love to see that match right now.
Wow.
But at the same time, other guys. I love Hacksaw. I loved Hacksaw Blitzkrieg, Hacksaw Duggan, of course. I also loved Buzz Sawyer. I thought he was great. Had no idea about the challenges he had. Loved hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. I got to later meet his parents, Tommy Gilbert, who is a great wrestler himself, and Peggy Gilbert. And it was very, very touching to be able to get to know them a little bit and everything. And I just think the world of them, and God bless Peggy, because, Tommy's gone, but some of the best people in the world. It's really amazing when you have opportunity for the guys you saw on TV, the guys you saw in the comic books, you get to meet Superman and Batman, and they have a cup of coffee with you. I got to go on Tosh.0.
I do remember seeing that.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
But here's the thing. I'm up on Tosh.0, sitting eating enchiladas with Ted DiBiase, Coco Beware, and Sergeant Slaughter.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, freaking go.
Wow.
I don't belong in there.
Wow.
You know, I've done some indie managing in Georgia, and I actually one of my buddies is Mr. Hughes, Curtis Hughes. He lives in Atlanta as well.
The big cat.
And yeah, absolutely. Well, great guy. We went up to in Memphis, probably 8 years ago or so. And he said, "You can be my manager." I go, "Driving the car." Sure, I'd love to. And I'm up there on one side of the rink managing Mr. Hughes. The other side, it's beautiful Bobby Eaton and Jimmy Hart's managing him. And I'm thinking, one of these things is not like the other. Tell me which one doesn't belong. It's me.
Hold on a second, Dave.
Dave, I got to ask you. So you're dropping all these names. Duke's got his umbrella out. He's jealous. So Royal Rumble's coming up, right? And it's the first stop on the road to WrestleMania. If a guy like you, with all your buddies, now your Hall of Famer guys you're hanging out with.
I wouldn't say my Hall of Famer guys hang out, but that would be stretching the truth. I mean, what do you think I am? A fake news?
I don't know, maybe. But if you're booking WrestleMania, what are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
If you have your choice.
What is the
pick.
championship match at WrestleMania, Dave?
Oh, if I'm booking WrestleMania, and I'm going to skate past the question, but I'll come back. Number one, if I'm booking WrestleMania, I'm trying to get the most bang for the buck. It's all about the dollar when you're in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be Goldberg and Lesnar. I don't know if you have them win the Rumble or have them both go at the same time or what. If you have Undertaker in there, there's quite a few good choices. Yeah, I'm kind of skating around it, but I mean, there's a lot they can do. It's always interesting to see. If you want to go out there and give someone some immediate credibility, Samoa Joe being a guy to put the debut and push him back up there. If you want to get Finn Balor back in the mix,
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, that would be a great idea.
Is there anybody you'd personally like to see win? Is there anyone you personally like to see on top, regardless of the money?
That's right.
Who do you want to see on top?
I really don't know. To be honest, I'm just happy to watch it and everything. I love Mania. And yeah, I'm avoiding the question. I've been watching political stuff.
Oh,
there's been too much news on everybody's lives these days.
Because you got a Hall of Famer president now. That's why. There. Okay.
No. Tell me about it. Ain't that the damnedest thing?
It sure is.
It's the Hall of Famer as the freaking president.
Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you. Now listen.
Linda McMahon's going to be taking care of small business.
I know she's involved in that too, which is just crazy. Listen, Dave, you got any family members you want to give a shout out to? This is a good chance for you.
Everybody, hey, I'm thankful for anybody who I've talked to. I really appreciate you guys having me on the air. I think this is great. I really have enjoyed this. If anybody want to contact me, you can go to @StillRealDave on Twitter. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I hadn't been up to the Northeast to do anything. They need a heel manager, face manager, whatever. Hey, and bring an announcer.
He does it all, folks. He does it all.
No, I can give you some credibility, or more important, hey, I'll take your money.
Speaking of which,
looking like a real worker, what can you say, Mr. Hughes, you taught me?
That's right.
I'm looking to go viral myself and get away from Duke just because I'm sick of talking to him. And I want to know, what are the perks of going viral? There's got to be some cool perks. Come on, you don't have any Ric Flair like ladies in limousines and things?
What are the perks of going viral? I don't know. I got to ring announcer. If people know who I am, I guess that's great. If I want to meet people. If I don't want to meet people, want to rob a bank, it's not good.
I guess it depends on your motivation, right?
Well, exactly. I've been able to meet some. I've been able to meet some great guys. Okay, I've been able to meet some great fans. Some of the wrestlers came up and told me that's so flattering. I'm like, who am I? I'm just a fan, dude. That's all I am. I think I was in an extraordinary situation, but an ordinary person. I'm one of the people who, as Steve Kerr said it before on Memphis Wrestling, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
That's right.
If someone asks me something, I'll be happy to go ahead and talk to them for a minute, and I understand it. No, I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert, because I'm not. I'm not really dropping names. I'm just someone who's been lucky to meet some of the guys that more or less are my superheroes. I met the Super Friends. I met some great fans, and I think it's fantastic to be able to do that and all.
It is cool.
I think
You said it. You said it as you're the fan.
That's right.
And I think you hit on the. And I think that just what you said about being nice to people and embracing the fandom, and the wrestlers respond to that. And I think that's a hugely important thing for the community of fans and of wrestlers and for the sport.
It's amazing.
I appreciate that's very kind.
Listen, Dave. Hold on, Dave. Before I let you go, I gotta hit one very important topic.
Sure.
You were contacted by the DDP Yoga folks to do a review of the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts,
Sure.
and they actually filmed you doing the review.
That's correct. Yes.
What does that feel like when you have Diamond Dallas Page, who's about to be in the Hall of Fame, and you had Jake the Snake Roberts, who is a Hall of Famer? What does it feel like that of all the people in the world, they contacted you to do that one spot? We'll end it on this here.
It's scary because I know I should be doing DDP yoga right now instead of talking to you. Lose some of my fat behind. No, Dallas was great. They took great care of me. They were super nice. And I'm flattered just to be able to meet you guys and talk to y'all. And I really do thank you for your time and letting me on here. And I just want to say that it's still rude to me, damn it.
You see that? Now that's how you do it.
Oh, give
it's
me a
not
break.
often on the show that we get to compare the genuine article to your horrible impersonation or
Listen,
interpretation.
I deserve an A for effort, okay? At least I put in a good effort there.
No, I don't think that Dave would agree with that either.
I'm sure he wouldn't, actually. Listen, up next, the Boston Bad Boy has more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. But before we get to any of that, folks, stop the presses, okay? The Boston Bad Boy has been bragging about a local sandwich joint in the heart of East Boston. Boston Bad Boy, tell us about this new joint.
Yeah, well, not new. They've been around since like the 60s.
Well, how come I didn't hear? How come you didn't tell me about it?
Because you have to be in the inn to know. And
me a
you know
break.
what?
Give me a
Now you're in the
break,
circle. You and all the rest of our listeners.
Oh, gosh.
It's Roy's Cold Cuts in East Boston. Now,
Roy's.
most people probably know about Roy's because Roy does a hell of a business. And Roy is a great guy. You go in there, he's got it all set up. It's like a rock and roll museum in there. So when you're waiting for your sandwich, you get something to look at. It's very cool. Roy's balls out. Lunchtime, fight your way in.
Wow.
Okay? But you can order online. They do delivery. Roy's the man. They're on Marion Street in East Boston.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about Roy's, too, is he has a little fun with the menu. My favorite sandwich
Let's hear this.
is the Godfather sub.
The Godfather sub.
Sometimes I need a little lunch. I gotta go in there. Roy takes care of me.
Why are you doing this?
It's the Godfather.
Why
That's
are
an
you- why are
impression,
you
by the
doing
way.
this? You're terrible.
Listen to this, though. Listen to this. Because every time I have to hear about Barnyard Cheese and I get hungry, you're
Yeah.
going to listen to the Godfather. And here we go. Godfather sub. Imported prosciutto.
Whew.
Chicken cutlet that Roy makes in-house. Like a real, none of that frozen crap. Breaded chicken cutlet, nice and thin.
Wait. Prosciutto and chicken cutlet?
Yep.
Wow.
With tomato, fresh mozzarella, roasted peppers, and then a little oil and seasoning just to top it right off there.
Unbelievable.
The roasted peppers adds a nice little bit of heat.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
The Godfather sub. Now, if you check them out online, they get all kinds of stuff. They got another great sub name is the Edward Wolfgang Munster wrap. Get it? The Munster.
Eddie Munster.
Yeah, that's right. So the food is unbelievable. The prices are unbelievable. Roy is an unbelievable human being. Big collector, music guy. Go talk music with him. And also they make the jars of the peppers that have the prosciutto and the cheese
love
inside
that.
and the oil.
Love the stuffed peppers.
You got to get
Wow.
those. You got to get those. So Roy's,
Okay.
Marion Street, East Boston. Get your butt over there.
Check out Roy's 198 Marion Street, folks. Enjoy.
Hey guys, this is Chelsea, the wrestling fan, and you're listening to Duke Loves Wrestling.
Shout out once again to Dave Wills. I mean, geez, that guy, he's something else. Huh?
There's a deep well of fandom in Dave.
Yes.
And it's great. You know what? I bet we didn't have time to get into it, but I'm sure he has other interests. And he's the kind of guy that will go all out for any of his interests.
You already know
other
that.
sports or hobbies or whatever.
Yep.
And like he said, he likes the fans. He likes being a fan. He likes being embraced by the fans and the wrestlers. And again, a guy like that sets a good example.
He really is. I
a better
appreciate him.
example than some of the wrestlers set when they come at the fans who adore them and pay money to see them.
All right.
The wrestlers could learn a little something from Dave.
Just
a little
stop
humanity.
it. Stop it right now. We were having a feel-good moment and you ruined it.
No, I made a really valid point.
You're a piece of work. Before we go any further, though, I do want to give a couple of shout-outs Rick Dara, shout out to him out there. I know he's a big supporter of our show here, and he has his own podcast that, hey, we may have to invade and do
a
some
podcast
talking
Battle
on
of the
there as
Stars.
well. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Talking about 70s TV shows.
I'm telling
you. Do you remember Network Battle of the Stars?
Loved it.
All right, so Network Battle of the Stars is so insane, and some people might not know what it was. It was basically all the big networks, CBS, ABC, NBC. They would do like a track and field day.
That's right.
With the actors from all the famous shows. I mean, Welcome Back, Kotter. So that's like late 70s, early 80s. The Dukes of Hazzard cast was there.
How fun
Well, the
was that?
funniest thing is they're all smoking in between events.
Yeah.
So, like Telly Savalas is smoking a cigarette in a cigarette holder, and then he does like the 100-meter dash against the guy from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Talk about an athlete. That's it. Have it your way, baby.
Or were they better athletes back then, or worse? I don't know, because they could actually. I mean, and no
Better
one died.
cigarettes back then. Who knows?
Maybe that's true.
You know. Also, hey, happy birthday to Sasha Banks.
Oh boy, I'm surprised we didn't get to this
Sasha
earlier.
Banks, the boss.
What'd you get her for her birthday?
Man,
did you send her like another creepy gift of like your toenails in a box or something?
give me a break. What's wrong with you?
Well, you do have an unhealthy obsession with Sasha Banks.
You continue to ruin everything. Okay.
Here's the thing: you would totally nerd out in front of Sasha Banks if
course
we
I
both met her. She'd sit down and talk to me and have a cocktail.
Oh, you think so?
She would be really weirded out by your obsessive vibe. That
I'm pretty sure that Sasha
and you wouldn't
Banks
even
would
know.
love my company.
No,
she would love my company. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm the Duke.
Oh boy! All right, Buffalo
That's
Bill.
it. So
Keep
what do
it
you
rolling.
have for?
Well, you called me
Ask
out.
Duke.
You called me out, and we have some questions, and you know what? They're really mundane, to be honest with you. And we've covered some of them already, so I'm just going to skip ahead right to.
You
what
know,
I
you
wanna
really
talk
have
about.
a poor habit going on here, pal.
Listen,
we
tell
advertise.
your people to send better questions.
Oh, just
I want some people with a brain here.
Unbelievable.
I want some people with a brain.
We just had the best fan in all of wrestling on here. Now
that's
you're
right.
going to treat our fans
No,
like
well,
their
hey,
questions
you know what?
don't matter.
They should take a lesson.
Oh, okay.
Get a little passion going.
Yeah,
they're your fans. So again, they're stale. They're corporate.
You're drunk with power. That's the problem. Okay.
Listen, I have to be drunk on something to deal with this.
Oh God.
So this is what I want to talk about, because this goes into what we were talking about earlier, and we talked about this off air. I did my musings. I will call you up and muse to you, and
That's
you
the
have to
problem.
listen to me.
That's the problem.
So you saw the final segment of Raw this week. I also always make sure to text you on a Monday and say, how's the 8th hour of Raw doing?
You're a piece. Oh my Buddha. This guy is just.
So you saw the final segment of Raw this week, right?
Sure.
And the show ended with 3 guys in the ring in a sort of a showdown.
Yep.
A high noon,
Which was
type
very
showdown.
exciting, by the way. That was an awesome cliffhanger.
Everyone likes a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Who were the 3 guys in the ring?
Well, please. It was Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
Goldberg,
Sure.
and The Undertaker.
There you go.
Huh?
All these men have an epic stare down.
Yes.
Cliffhanger
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw
Yes.
in the year 2017,
That's right.
when these guys haven't been relevant since probably 1997.
You just. I mean.
Part-timers.
My
Are we
God.
not? Are they not part-timers? Are they not sort of hired guns? Are they not background players brought in?
So what?
Well, where's New Day?
Oh boy.
Where are the big names? Where are the modern guys? Strowman. Where are they? Where are the up and comers?
They were on the show.
Where's the current? Where are they involved in the pitch for the next version of their show? Where are they in the cliffhanger? Nowhere.
I don't even understand
Nowhere.
the point that you're trying to make here, because look.
The point is that Vince, once again, is giving the current generation of wrestlers the shaft.
All right, time out.
And he's bending them over a barrel to try and squeeze a nickel out of them.
You're not going to do this.
But he knows when push comes to shove,
You're not gonna do this.
He's going to pull out what works.
all
And
right.
what works is a good gimmick. And what won't he give the new generation? A good gimmick.
Stop it right now, okay? Like we
You
gotta,
know I'm
we gotta
right.
dial
I can tell
this
by the look
all
on your
way
face
back.
you know I'm
No,
right.
you know the look on my face right now is because I can't believe you just actually said that. First and foremost, you're talking about 3 icons in professional wrestling.
Yes.
Okay, they're
From
icons.
many years ago.
In the history
Mm-hmm.
of wrestling, you always showcase your icons, man. That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
These are the guys who got you to the dance. Now, as far as
Let me put it to you this way. All right? Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh God.
Game 7 of the World Series. All right?
Baseball.
Game 7 of the World Series. Okay? We're 2 outs. We're we're going to bring in Carl Yastrzemski at 85 years old.
Hey,
we're
you
gonna
know
put
what?
him.
He
We're gonna
probably
put
is pretty good.
We're going to put him in center field.
He probably is pretty good.
We're going to put him out there,
Yeah.
and that's who we're just going to bring him out just because. Boy, he's a name.
You gotta be
he was good back in the day.
You gotta be
Let's throw him in there when it really counts.
Sir, let me explain something to you. The current generation stars, like New Day.
We're at the Super Bowl, okay?
Oh,
it's
my
inside the 2-minute
God.
warning. And you know who was a great guy? Let's bring in Dan Marino.
All right, that's enough.
You know what? He's
That's
a name.
enough.
People would love to watch it on TV.
You're making an issue out of something that is not an issue.
What I'm making an issue of, guys like that, like Yastrzemski, like Dan Marino, they have history, right? Their names people know. Their gimmicks, arguably gimmicks people know. People know them in response to their teams.
So what?
They have a power that they bring with them.
Yeah.
But it's absurd to bring them back because it doesn't make any sense because we have a new generation. And why isn't that generation being cultivated the way that previous generation was? You know why? Because it gives them too much power. If all of these new generation guys are sort of semi-nameless, they all kind of look alike, no one has any great gimmicks like the Ultimate Warrior or Undertaker or Hogan, you can get rid of them easily. You can shuffle them out and put them in some backroom gig where you don't have to pay them much money, but you have them locked into one of your famous Vince McMahon handshake deals, and they're screwed. But if you give them power, they have a little bit of say. Undertaker, for instance. The guy he doesn't get used as much because of injuries, but he has a little bit more pull when it comes to it because it's such a good gimmick. He could say, I'm staying home, and screw McMahon. So he's going to bring him in.
You know, you just made up this whole thing,
No,
and I just
not
let
made up.
you
It's
go
right in front of your
because you
eyes.
sound like such a complete fool
It's right in front of your eyes.
Let me tell you something.
Are the ratings for Raw where they should be?
People are not consuming television in the same way that they used to. Listen, you know what ratings are up? Social media ratings are up.
I'm sure Trump's ratings are up. Trump's ratings are up too,
All
right?
Well,
because people aren't consuming it.
Give me
Same
a break
thing.
right now.
Are you giving me alternative facts?
You know what? Trump is
Here
a
it is.
WWE Hall of Famer.
Perfect.
Okay?
He's
a Hall of Famer.
The McMahons are involved in the alternative facts
All right,
administration,
you just
and
a
their
piece
boy
of
Duke
work
is
right
now
now.
spilling alternative facts
For
my
the
friends.
record, Kevin Owens is the WWE Universal Heavyweight
Universal.
Champion.
Here we go. We'll go back to that.
For the record,
Yeah.
okay? New Day, longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions.
Who cares?
Okay, for the record.
These guys are not compelling.
Braun Strowman, he's being pushed to the moon right now.
They're not compelling. You know why? Because you were salivating when Undertaker, Lesnar, and Goldberg are staring at each other.
Why wouldn't you salivate? They're the best.
Exactly
What
my
are you
point.
talking about right now?
These new guys have not a chance in hell to
Oh,
compete
my
with that
God.
because these guys were given such a big push in their day, such cultivation, such backstory that they can be brought in so many years later and have an impact that even the new generation can't keep up with.
You just don't even know
It's
what
called
you're talking
charisma.
about.
It has nothing to do with physicality or skill.
So now the new guys don't have charisma. Is that what are you
They're not
honestly
allowed to
saying
have
that right now?
They're not allowed to have charisma.
Oh my God.
Because the more powerful they become as personalities, the more leverage they have when it comes to contract time, and Vince is never going to let
the
that
level
happen.
of disrespect that
I'm
you
telling
have
you.
for Vince McMahon in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Hey, he's
is
earned my level of
embarrassing.
disrespect.
It's embarrassing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself right now. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that right now. The eventual winner of the Royal Rumble and the guy who's going to walk out of WrestleMania with the title is probably going to be a current generation person.
Well, I certainly hope
Big
so
shot,
because
shot.
these are the guys that work
Okay,
full-time
know-it-all.
schedules,
Okay.
full-time day in, day out.
So what?
And so what? When it comes time for the big cliffhanger, when it comes time for the big respect moment, they get shafted for some part-timers,
give me a
some
break.
old guys past prime.
You are being dramatic
They're
right
past
now.
prime athletes, but they have a good gimmick.
Oh, God.
So that's all they get going
You
for.
know what?
And Vince knows what sells. If this is a money play, what sells a cliffhanger? You have to have some gravitas to it.
Okay, so what?
So
That's
he
the
knows
point.
that he knows that his current staff can't do it because he hasn't allowed them to. He's bound them. He's bound
I can't
them.
believe you would have the audacity to blame Vince McMahon
He's
for this.
bound
That's
them.
it. I'm wrapping this up.
Doesn't he run everything?
Listen,
You said he runs everything.
thank you to Dave Wills for joining us for this wonderful show this week.
I bet Dave agrees with me.
No, Dave wouldn't agree. You join us next week, folks, where hopefully the Boston Bad Boy gets some sense because he's being very disrespectful this week, and I'm just sick of it.
You just
so
don't like
you know.
reality.
No, I'm sick
You know,
of you
you
right
take your
now
alternative
because I can't
facts
believe you would
and
even
you
talk about
misspeak,
Vince
and,
McMahon
you know,
like
you
that
have your own
because
set
you
of
shouldn't
facts.
be
It's just
talking
like,
about a
you know,
guy.